Here's how you make an adjustable ring for beginning a crochet project in the round. An adjustable ring is great for beginning a project that doesn't have a hole in the very center. What we're going to do is make a loop of yarn, and that's pretty much it. We have the tail end of the yarn, which is the cut end, and the working end of the yarn, which is still attached to the ball or skein. And what we're going to do is pull out a tail about 6 inches long and loop the tail end behind the working end of the yarn to make a loop. And that's pretty much it. The key is that the tail end has to be behind the working end, or else this isn't going to work. So we have the tail end behind the working end, and then what we do is pick up the loop and hold it. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller there, and hold it right at the intersection so that we have a ring right here that isn't going to come apart. So we're holding it firmly I'm holding it between my middle finger and my thumb. On my yarn hand, I have my yarn tensioned. And to make your first round of stitches, in this example, I'll be making 8 single crochets. To make your first round of stitches, you simply insert your hook into the center of the ring. Pull up a loop, chain 1 for your starting chain. And now things look a little bit muddled here, but just use your fingers to open that ring back up again. That's how it should look. And then you make your first single crochet into the center of the ring. And now things look a bit simpler. I'll set this down so you can see. The tail has wrapped around the ring. It's now out of the way, and you're simply going to be working over the tail to complete your first round of stitches. So I have 1 single crochet, and now I'll make 7 more. Now I'm going to set that down to show you what we've got. It looks a little bit like a mess. That does not look like the first round of stitches of any project at all. But here's what we're going to do. We're simply going to manipulate the stitches. They just twisted around the ring a little bit. Now that looks a lot better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now that 8th stitch is a little bit twisted around there, and that's okay. So we can pull that up. Okay, so here's what we've got. Now, how do we make that into the first round of stitches? Here's how we do it. This is why some people call this a magic adjustable ring. It's pretty cool. First, we untwist the tail from the ring so that it's hanging separately. Next, we make sure that all of our stitches are oriented the same way and not twisted around the ring. I did that earlier. And finally, we hold the stitches at the very top, not here, because that's holding onto the yarn that forms the ring and we won't be able to tighten it up. So we hold the tops of the stitches and pull. We pull the tail of the ring, and you can see everything is closing up. Now I haven't finished pulling the tail yet, because once I pull the tail, things are going to be so tight it'll be difficult to identify that first single crochet for joining the end of the yarn, the end of the round with a slip stitch. So again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That 8th single crochet, the very first one we made, is way kind of smushed down already. And so before I fully tighten up the round, I'm going to join the round with a slip stitch before I make it too difficult for myself. And again, I identify which single crochet is the first. It looks like it might be this one, but I would be missing one if I worked into this one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 is this smushed up looking one here. And it can be a little bit difficult to kind of jam your hook in there, but just be a bit rough with it if you need to be. That is totally fine. So keeping the tail out of the way, I'm joining my yarn, joining the round with a slip stitch, okay? Now this is what you often see when you begin working the round, like with a chain that you join. You have a hole in the middle of your work. This is where the adjustable ring becomes truly like magic. I'm gonna hold this here, and we're simply going to pull that yarn tail even more, not so much that I break the yarn. And that center hole closes right up. Well, it's still a little bit there. So let's grab that, pull it, there we go. So remember, use force, but not so much force that you snap your yarn. And you've got no hole at all in the middle of your first round. Then you continue working in the round as you normally would, and you're all set. This technique also works with any basic stitch at all, half double crochet, double crochet. In fact, you'll have an easier time finding that very first stitch in one of the taller stitches because they're less likely to get all crimped down. But there you have it, how to make an adjustable ring to begin a crochet project in the round. For more videos like this, check out my YouTube channel at KP Worker and support my ability to make more videos like this at patreon.com/KP Worker.